What's up, Barbarians? Today, we have the Upheaval Barb. With Upheaval, all you have to do, hit bash 4 times, and hit him with an Upheaval. Boom. Last season, we used Whirlwind to proc Upheaval, and this season, we are going to use Bash. It's a little tankier, and it plays a little better in my opinion. We're going to show off Pit and 90. Alright, when you start, hit Rallying Cry, hit Wrath of Berserker, hit Bash at least 4 times, and then Upheaval. You can either wait until you get your 10 stacks, or just hit it 4 times, regardless of how many stacks you have. The choice is yours. Obviously, the closer you are to 10 Upheaval stacks, the better. But sometimes you just want to use them beforehand. It really is all depending. I have been deathly ill this past week and a half. That's why I haven't been too active on here lately. I've been coughing and sleeping. But hopefully that's behind me now. I can try some other off-meta builds. I really like Upheaval, and I feel like they still need to do something to make it more powerful. It still does lag behind. It is more enjoyable now to play, but I feel like the overpowers, they don't compare to Deathblow, and they don't compare to Hammer of the Ancients. It still seems to be missing a little something. Like, don't get me wrong, it is cool that we're always overpowering, and we're always hitting a lot of targets, but I feel like Upheaval needs more. It needs more to be competitive. It's a really great skill. It's technically a pretty slow skill, and it needs something else to be competitive. I think it's okay being a slow skill if it's just really, really powerful. I think that would be cool. But how powerful would you make it, you know? But if you'd like Upheaval, definitely give this one a go. We're pretty tanky for the most part. And we have the Zergling pretty much up all the time. And I do love using the Hellhammer. We don't use it for its ability, but we use it for the ranks to Upheaval and the ranks to Walla. That's just a massive multiplier. And because of that, it's really a great weapon. Alright, we're gonna let that guy go. So yeah, bash 4 times, and then Upheaval. Or make sure you have 10 Upheaval stacks, which will definitely be 4 bashes. And then keep going that way as well. Choice is yours. On bossing, I suggest to go up to the full stacks of 10. Like this guy, we're gonna go to the full stacks of 10. Because if we just go to 4, 2.4 billion. See where, yeah, that was a massive difference there. Who is the boss today? Scourge, there we go. So, either get your stacks up to 10, and then hit it, or you can just go up to 4, and you could keep hitting him for smaller hits. The choice is absolutely yours. I would suggest going all the way up to 10, and then hitting them for a more overpowered hit. But yeah, I still think Upheaval needs love. I still like Upheaval, but I feel like we just need better ways to make it stronger. And I think having Sundered Ground is one of the only aspects for Upheaval. I just don't think that's good enough. And we're not actually using it right now. I wanted to, but I just couldn't find a place to fit it in. Get your 10 stacks. And try not to die. Let's walk around for a second. There we go. And bossing is still Upheaval's downside. It can still do everything in the game. It'll still take out, Duriel, all those bosses. It's basically a 1 or 2 hit depending on your rotation. But if you want to push high levels of the pit, Upheaval's definitely not for you. And if you want to play like a speed farming version, then you could do like a mono Upheaval, but that would be significantly less powerful. Stacks and boom. Of course, the biggest thing about the pit fights is being able to see everything that's going on. It is cool that Upheaval has range. I do like that. I've never seen him be able to move his fire like that before. I feel like that's new. Okay, he's almost hit. Gotta wait another second. Watch out for those ground effects. Because they're literally all over the place. Okay, last one. Pit 90 completed. Overall fun build, can still complete everything on Torment 4, but not a pit pusher. In the helmet, we have the Air of Perdition. We use this over the Ugly Bastard Helm, as it has ranks the core skills, movement speed, and the critical strike chance. With this, it doesn't matter if we're berserking or not. This does do slightly less damage, but because we have 100% critical strike chance, it literally sets us up to do 4 bashes and then 1 Upheaval, and our Upheaval will always be overpowered. If you already have 100% critical strike chance without this helmet, then use the Ugly Bastard helmet instead. Then we have the Shroud of False Death, +1 to all passives is too good to beat. In the gauntlets, we use the Aspect of Expectant. This is just an easy way to have our Upheaval deal 30% more damage. You could use other things like Intercom or Aspect of Elements, but this one is very consistent that we can always get to 30% every time. And you want Strength, Critical Strike Chance, and Upheaval. I need some damage to Berserking, and I was missing a little bit of Upheaval size. I have 1 temper of that on here. Next, we have the Aspect of Might. This is what gives us great damage reduction, and you want to make sure you have max life on here with a temper of Upheaval overpower stuns for 2 seconds. enemies. That one is important because of our 4 bashes. Our Upheaval will always be overpowered and we will always stun the enemies. Next we have Yen's Blessing. As we are using all our shouts all the time, this will make sure that Yen's Blessing triggers one of our shouts consistently. Next we have the Hellhammer. I was really lucky and I had one with a greater affix on ranks to Upheaval. Absolutely amazing mace. I love it. I do wish that the burning ground effect was stronger. In Torment 4, you don't feel it. Because of that, I wish that was increased a little bit, but this is still an absolutely amazing weapon. Then we have the aspect of Earthquakes, and we use this to proc more damage for our Upheavals, and we take bash cleaves and critical strike damage. Because we're using the Grandfather, you want critical strike damage anywhere you can put it. Then we have the Shard of Rathiel. We use this to proc a Ring of Red Furore and the Ring of Starless Skies. Next we have the Grandfather. Absolutely amazing weapon if you are a critical strike build. And then we have the Ring of Starless Skies, and we don't actually need that gem in there. I just had that gem in there while I was using this build. Then we have the Ring of Red Furore with a greater affix on critical strike damage, which pairs very well with the Grandfather. You can only proc this ring if you are using the Shard of Rathiel. If you try this build without this ring is absolutely useless. And then we have the Banished Lords. One thing that is really good about the Banished Lords, it says that your critical strikes that overpower deal 60% increased damage. So regardless if you spend the 275 primary resource or not, because you bash 4 times and you are going to overpower and your critical strike chance is at 100%, this is proccing every single time. For our witch powers, we use Shaken Soul, Wave of Woe, Hex of Shattering, Soul Harvest, and Force of Will, with our unique power of Vengeful Spirit. For runes, we use Lith Tech to proc the aspect of Earthquakes to give us more damage, and Pak Zeke so that as we are spending resource, our Wrath of the Berserker is cooling down faster. Our weapon expertise is Two-Handed Axe. For our skill tree, you want 3 points in Bash for Combat Bash. For the Shard of Rathiel, take 3 points into Endless Fury, take 7 points into Upheaval for Furious Upheaval, and this is why we do want to bash 4 times, and also take 3 points into Warpath, 3 points into Belligerence, 3 points into Opposing Presence, 3 points into Martial Vigor, 3 points into Rallying Cry. For Tactical Rallying Cry, this is needed to start every run, 2 points in Challenging Shout for Enhanced Challenging Shout, 3 points into War Cry for Mighty War Cry, 3 points into Booming Voice, 3 points into Swiftness, 3 points into Aggressive Resistance, 3 points into Pit Fighter, 3 points into Slaying Strike, and take up to 3 points into No Mercy just to make sure that you have 100% critical strike chance. 1 point into Thick Skin to get 3 points counteroffensive, 3 points into Heavy Handed, 3 points into Brute Force, and 3 points into Wallop. 3 points in Invigorating Fury, and 3 points into Wrath of the Berserker for Supreme Wrath of the Berserker. And our key passive is Unbridled Rage. For the Paragon, our first board, we have Martial, which will help reset the cooldown for Wrath of the Berserker. Next board is Decimator, where we take Dominate. Our third board is Weapon Master, where we take Crusher. Our fourth board is Blood Rage, where we take Ire. Our final board is Bone Breaker, where we take Wrath. That is Upheaval. Great playstyle, and still needs a little bit of love. I really like how Upheaval is very different from the other Barbarian skills, but it still lacks damage. It is nice that it overpowers all the time. It just feels the overpowers are too weak. But if you do like Upheaval, feel free to give this build a try. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.